What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black. It's STEVEE the Black. I'm back, and as you can tell, probably I'm still kind of sick. Um, so what I wanted to talk about today was or is why the Eagles are struggling. Because really, it's no mystery why they're struggling. It's no secret why they're struggling. It's and the answer may shock you, but the reason why the Eagles are struggling in 2018 is because of the offense. It's the offense's fault. Now you may be looking and you're saying, what are you talking about? It's clearly the defense. The defense is 50% to blame. This is the whole team is playing bad. Let's just get that out the way. But 50-50. The defense is giving up the points. The defense can't get a stop, but at the same time, when the offense goes 3-and-out, or when Carson Wentz fumbles the ball, then the defense has to go right back out there, and they're like, oh, we gotta bail them out again. This team last year was so balanced, was so amazing that there wasn't a third down that we couldn't convert. I remember it was 3rd and 19 against the Arizona Cardinals. And I know they're not a good team, but it was 3rd and 19 against the Arizona Cardinals. And the Carson Wentz threw it to Nelson Aguilar on a bomb and got the touchdown. I was like, wow. This guy is something special, man. He truly is. And you knew Carson Wentz was the number one quarterback last year on third down. And I'm just like, man, you knew that you were just going to convert. I knew that. The offensive line last year at the beginning of the season was a problem. It was. For whatever reason, we had Chase Warmack in there. Then I think we put Salamalu in there. But for whatever reason, they weren't clicking. And then once we put Wisniewski in there, things started to get better. So why Jason Peter comes out and he says, I can't play with this guy when he did last year, I don't know. The offensive line, they were bad early on. But eventually they got it together. And now, for whatever reason, they just are playing absolutely horrible. They cannot pass block. They cannot run block. Well, they're opening up holes. It's just that we have sucky running backs. Speaking of which, even when we had Jay Ajayi, I still said that this team, these running backs, they just were trash because you knew Jay Ajayi was injury prone. You knew that Jay Ajayi was eventually going to get hurt. So this thing about we didn't know he was going. No, you knew he was gonna get hurt. Like, you know, he has the knee problems. He has the back problems. It's like, you know, and then you let LeGarrette Blount walk away without even offering him anything. All right, see you later. To go to the Lions, you know the Lions aren't going to do anything. The Vikings are in that division. Aaron Rodgers is in that division. And you let that man walk and go over to them. Why? This is why I don't understand why athletes choose the money over winning. Because 9 times out of 10, when you get the money, you're not going to a place that's a contender. If you're going to someone that's going to give you over $100 million or something like that, 9 times out of 10, most of their money is going to you, which means they can't put it into other things to make themselves a championship contender team, which is why I understand what Le'Veon Bell is doing, but The Pittsburgh Steelers are always in the conversation for being a Super Bowl contender. They always are. And I understand that it's stupid that they're not really giving him the money, but whoever he goes to, they're not going to be a contender unless he goes to Green Bay or something like that. But that's not happening. They just paid Aaron Rodgers, and they have Aaron Jones, who's pretty good. So it's just like the fact of the matter is the offense is that problem because we're just not scoring. You need, in this league, you need to score at least 28 points. 28 points plus to compete in this league now, because that's where we are. And we struggle and we barely put up 20 points. This team this year has reminded me so much of 2016 because it's literally in reverse. It's literally going back. They're in these one possession games and they defense can't get off the field and the offense can't score, and it's obvious. And then Carson Wentz, I love the man to death, but it's either Zach Ertz or Alshon. Zach Ertz or Alshon. And he doesn't trust anybody else. You know, the thing last year we spread the ball around. And I'll admit Nelson Aguilar's having a bit of a down year, but I mean, and then yesterday we have Golden Tate. He had 2 weeks to learn the playbook. You tell me he doesn't know enough that he can make a difference in the game? That's bull crap. That's bull crap, and you know, because the Cowboys had the same amount of time with Amari Cooper, and Amari Cooper had a better debut game than Golden Tate did. We're sitting here talking about, yeah, we got Golden Tate. Yeah, we about to get that yak. But he's not in. He's only played 29% of the snaps yesterday. I don't understand. And the problem is the offense. That's the problem, because if you can't score, because the defense, the way teams are constructed now, they're not going to stop them. Now, when you get them in 3rd and 20 and 3rd and 15, you need to get off the field. Like, that's unacceptable. If you're 10 yards back because you know you can't cover them, well then tackle, because they're not tackling. I remember yesterday, Amari Cooper, man, Ronald Darby had him. It would have been like 4th and 5. Ronald Darby had him. He hit him, but then he didn't wrap him up, and then Amari Cooper breaks out, and I'm like, do you not know how to tackle? That's the first thing in defense they teach you, is how to tackle. This whole team is a mess right now, man. It just is, and I just it's a mess. And now we've got the Saints. We're going to lose that game. And then we've got the Giants. Saquon's going to go off. And then we've got the Redskins. They're going to hold on to the division lead. And then we're going to go to Dallas. And maybe we get that revenge, you know, because for whatever reason, we play much better at Dallas than we do our own house. And then we have the Rams. We're going to lose that game. But then again, you know, they'll have the division wrapped up, but because of the Saints, they'll probably need to get the number 1 seed. So it's this is how you build a dynasty. This is the new norm. The new norm of losing. And I saw something today on Twitter. It was like the Patriots and the Steelers, when they won their Super Bowls, they didn't go and win the Super Bowl the next year. Matter of fact, they didn't even make the playoffs. But look at where they're at now. First of all, New England is an anomaly, so we're going to erase that. And if you want to go the Pittsburgh route, well, Ben Roethlisberger won his Super Bowl, his first one in 2005, and then won his second one in 2008. So that was a 3-year gap. I don't want to wait 3 years. And then he went back to the Super Bowl in 2010. So 2 years later, he lost. But I don't want to wait another 2 years. Then there's Baltimore Ravens. They won the Super Bowl in 2000, and then it was 12 years later before they won the Super Bowl again. I don't want to wait another 12 years. And then there's the New York Giants. They won in 2007, and then they won again in 2011. I don't want to wait 4 years. Like, we crack on the Cowboys for how they haven't done anything in 23 years. But at the end of the day, when it was their time, they capitalized and they won 3 Super Bowls. We talk about, I know I said it's an anomaly, how much we hate New England, but Bill Belichick, I remember when they beat the Atlanta Falcons, bro. And they were in the parade, man. I'm trying to remember, what did Bill Belichick say? He was like, we're behind or something like that. We're behind the other teams. Man, what did he say? What did he say? Something like, no one fall behind, or let's get back to work, or something like that. He said, I don't remember what he said. If you remember, let me know in the comment section down below. But his focus is, okay, you won the Super Bowl. What do you do? Oh, we're behind. We need to start getting ready for the draft. We need to start getting ready, focusing on who we can bring in, and this and that and that and this. Like, Bill Belichick would have cut Darren. He would have let Darren Sproles rock. Because Darren Sproles just, man, I love Darren Sproles, bro. But he is literally holding this team hostage. He's upset that he didn't get to play in the Super Bowl. And the only person who deserves to be upset that they didn't play in the Super Bowl is Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz, he's putting up the numbers. And statistically, he's playing better than he was last year. But is that translating in wins? No, because we're going scoreless in the first quarters, or in the first half. We're only putting up 3 points. I mean, honestly, again, I said, if you're going to lose to any team, I don't care if you lose to the Browns, I don't care if you lose to the Falcons, you can lose to the Packers, you can lose to any other team, you can lose to the Giants, for all I care. But of all the teams you're going to lose to, on prime time, with the world watching, with your season on the line, you're going to lose to the Dallas Cowboys. Really. Who, if it wasn't for a penalty, they would have converted 2 fourth-down conversions. And once again, Doug Peterson gets out-coached. And I'm just like, it's literally like we went back in time and we're looking at the 2016 Eagles. Like, that's... Oh, man. So if you've been following me this whole time, the problem with this team, the problem with the 2018 Philadelphia Eagles is the offense, because they cannot score. We're going 3 and out. We're turning the ball over. We get to the red zone and we're kicking field goals. We can't convert on 3rd down. The offensive line is garbage. They're playing below their standards because they were protecting Nick Foles in that Super Bowl run. They were. Like, he wasn't even, I don't even remember if he was ever on the ground. These receivers, listen, man, Carson Wentz is great. Carson Wentz is going to be great. But you cannot he's not on that Drew Brees level, Aaron Rodgers level, Tom Brady level, Peyton Manning level, where they don't need a running back and they can carry the team. He's not at that stage. He's just not. Last year we were 3rd in rushing. I don't understand why they thought with the team and the running backs that we have, especially when they stopped using Wendell Smallwood. What makes you think? Because now, what? Oh, he must be motivated because he got benched last year because we got Jay Ajayi. Oh, that makes it better? He's still doing the same exact thing. And then, obviously, with the receivers, I mean, all it is just Alshon and Ertz, sprinkling a little Goddard, sprinkling a little bit of Jordan Matthews, you know. And I'm just telling you, man. Is the defensive problem? Absolutely. See, the thing is, Jim Schwartz, he's not he's refusing to make adjustments because our defense is predicated on that defensive line getting to the quarterback, because that's why our defensive backs are 10 yards back, because they can't cover anybody. And so if he's thinking the defensive line can get to the quarterback, but they're not. It's just Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Not Brandon Graham. It's just Fletcher Cox and Michael Bennett, and Jim Schwartz got to go. After this year, I know what I said yesterday about my friend trying to convince me about, Jim Schwartz has got to go. It is not it's execution, but it's mostly the scheme. The scheme is dumb. You clearly can tell the defensive line is not getting to the quarterback. In the fourth quarters 1, 2, and 3, we were getting to Dak Prescott, but in that fourth quarter, they were not getting to him. They were not. He had all the time in the world to throw. And plus, now with Ronald Darby having a torn ACL, you know Drew Brees is going to kill us next week, man. He going to kill us. Oh, man, we're on life support, and Drew Brees, he's like, I love you too much to see you suffer like this. So I'm just going to take off that mask and I'm going to let you die. Because this is pathetic. This is pathetic. Because it is pathetic. Oh, man. I saw that the Panthers released C.J. Anderson today, Maybe, I posted on Facebook, I said maybe the Eagles should go after him. But they won't. Remember when Corey Clement told Howie Roseman, don't get a running back. Don't get a running back. I promise you, we're going to do the job done. Yeah, how's that working out? So you know what I'm doing in the draft? First pick in the first round, I'm drafting a running back. Because of the way we're playing, we're probably going to be 8-8, maybe 9-7. If worst, 7-9 again. So probably a top 15 pick. So I'm drafting a running back, stud running back. I'm drafting a running back. Unless they plan to go after Le'Veon Bell, then by all means, please go get him. But if they're not, then you draft a running back. You draft a running back, and then in the second round, because we have 2 second-round picks, I believe, you draft a tackle, because to replace Jason Peters, because he's got to go too, because clearly he's got to go. He's done, just like Darren Sproles is done. I mean, that's what the Cowboys did. And I hate to compare ourselves to the Cowboys or give Cowboys any credit, but they drafted him and put together that offensive line that a couple years ago was the best in the league. Tyron Smith and all those guys. You need to draft a guard or a tackle, my bad. You need to draft a tackle. You need to take Wisniewski and put him back in there because he's better than Salamalu. And then I really don't know what you do after that. Maybe you draft another receiver. Maybe you get some defensive backs. Whatever, we'll see. But priority after the season is fire Jim Schwartz, because I'm done with this man. I am done with him. This is ridiculous. I don't know. I would try and keep Michael Bennett, to be quite honest with you, because we're losing Chris Long. I want to keep Michael Bennett. So we keep Michael Bennett. Obviously, Brandon Graham's going to probably leave. So it's like I said in my video yesterday. It's literally like they sold their soul to win that Super Bowl. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they won. But you see this right here? You see this shirt right here? It says new day. This is a new year. Or rather was a new year. This is a new season, and we will forever be grateful for that Super Bowl. But this is a new year. And my thing was, I knew we weren't going to win a Super Bowl, but I wanted to compete. I wanted to be in that conversation to say, oh man, the Eagles almost got back, bro. They're going to be sticking around for a long time. But if they don't get it together, it's not going to happen. And one last point, and then I'm going to be done, of why the offense is struggling and why it's the fault that we're losing. Addy said yesterday that the reason why the offense looked the way they did was because they came off a bye and because they were a little bit rusty and they had to wake up. And they did start off that way against the Dallas Cowboys last year, but the difference was we had LeGarrette Blount, we had Jay Ajayi, so we were able to get it going in the second half. But my thing was this. When we went to the Super Bowl, did we not have 2 weeks to prepare? The same amount of time that we had to prepare for the Dallas Cowboys yesterday. What if we came out and looked the way we did in the Super Bowl? We would not be Super Bowl champions. The reason why we are standing here right now, Super Bowl champions, is because the offense went out there and they scored. When Brady scored, we scored. When we scored, they scored. And it was an offensive battle, and we went back and forth, and we were scoring. And then the defense, which is why I call them the most clutch defense, or did, Brandon Graham with the strip sack, because all it takes is one defensive play, one defensive stop to turn the momentum around. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't the defense. It was the offense. It was Nick Foles. That's why we say Nick Foles outdueled Tom Brady. Because while Tom Brady threw for 501 yards, while he had 3 touchdowns, Nick Foles was more impressive because he was battling. Because he went toe-to-toe and won. Because every time they scored, he scored. Offense is the problem. Now, sure, maybe if the defense gets a stop yesterday, Carson Wentz and them, they go down and they get another touchdown, game's probably over. But the more you put on that offense, but again, we were in the biggest stage against the best of the best, and the offense was put in constant pressure to score, and they kept doing it. So I know they can do it if they're put in that situation because I've seen them do it. And if there's any team out there who's learning that their team, just because they did something great last year, doesn't mean they'll do it this year, it's the Minnesota Vikings. They thought they were a quarterback away from going to the Super Bowl, but their defense has been inconsistent. Their defense hasn't been doing it. Matter of fact, the Rams' defense hasn't been as stout as we thought they were going to be. They've given up 20-plus points almost like 5 games, I believe, but they're 8-0 or they're 9-1. Why? Because their offense continues to score. The problem is the offense. We are unbalanced. So that's why I say you draft a running back in the first round. You start to get this thing going. You go back to what worked. Because what you're doing now is not working. It's just not. So that's pretty much about it. That's all I've got. I've decided that I'm going to keep doing predictions videos because obviously I'm still trying to get the channel to grow, and me stopping making videos isn't going to help that. So I'm going to continue to make predictions videos. I might be seeing more gloom and doom now because the season's over, but you won't be seeing that championship belt anymore, not even if we beat Dallas. And, and like I said, we're not winning the division. It's going to be Washington. So all I ask of the Eagles is to finish 500 or better. That's my only wish right now. So that being said, that's pretty much about it. Continue to spread the word. Like this video. Share it with your friends. And even though I'm mad at them, I will always love this team. I love them. But that doesn't mean I like them right now. I know a lot of people don't believe in beating their kids, but I got beatings when I was little. I got spankings when I was little. And according to my parents, I was not a very good kid. when I was younger, especially in the middle school years. I was lying a lot and all that stuff like that, but I don't remember any of that. First of all, because I have bad memory, but second of all, if that's how I used to be, and I am the way I am now, or everyone tells me how I'm nice and respectful and this and that, parents beat their kids because they love them, so they can correct the wrongs while they're still correctable. If we kiss up to the Eagles and keep saying, "Oh, they're the Eagles," and we don't criticize them, we're doing that wrong and we're doing them injustice. If the coach never yelled at this team and just continued to butter them up, and then they would never learn. I don't know if Doug Peterson's been doing that or not, but you know. Anyway, that's about it. So I will see you guys Wednesday for the preview for the Saints game. And if you're not down with that, I've just got 3 words for you: fly, Eagles, fly. And peace out, guys.